Middleweight bout here. Marc-Andre Barriault coming in at minus 125. Eryk Anders coming in at plus 125. Over under 2.5 rounds, minus 142 for the over, plus 142 for the under. Another Canadian on the main card here, and that's probably the only reason that they can get away with it, because this is a tough main card opener. And I think what they did here, this is the first fight on the main card. You want to get people from Canada. If you're in Canada and you want to fight or watch this pay-per-view, you're like, okay, I need to see the Canadians at least. So they threw the Canadians on here. And Marc-Andre Barriault coming in here as coming off a win against Julian Marquez, and he's 3-2 in his last 5. But I will say the wins aren't super impressive, but the losses aren't like terrible either. So I mean, he's kind of like a bubble to like middle of the pack middleweight. Like, this is a step up in competition for him against Eryk Anders, who's been around for a while. I mean, this is like his 16th UFC fight.
Yeah.
And he just got a good knockout win against Kyle Dawkins in the second round. I think Marc-Andre Barriault could struggle with the power of Eryk Anders and maybe the pressure. But, you know, they say Marc-Andre Barriault is the power bar, so he's going to be live in those second and third rounds. But if he can't survive till then, I think Anders could blitz him in the first. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I kind of went back and forth on this one, but at the end of the day, like, I was at the fight against Kyle Dawkins, and Dawkins just took one shot and kind of gave up in that fight. I mean, he kept getting back up and then dropped again. And then Kyle Dawkins, I mean, I don't really hold a lot of stock in that win. I've never been big on Kyle Dawkins at all. But he lost to, Jung Young Park, Andre Muniz, who's a stud, wins over Darren Stewart, split decision, Gerald Mearshart. Like, he's not beating anybody phenomenal, not losing to anybody terrible. Like, I think both these guys, when you look at their records, it kind of mirrors each other a little bit. Like, they're never going to go on a win streak. They're never going to lose too many fights in a row. I mean, I know Barriault lost his first 4 in the UFC and then went, 4-2 after that. But both guys kind of unpredictable at times too. The one thing that I do like a lot about Marc-Andre Barriault, Andes, who's just, a menace out there, who takes it out of everybody. But for Eryk Anders, after that first round, after, going for takedowns and the grappling, he seems to get a little tired. Like, he holds a lot of muscle, and he seems to kind of, his arms look a little bit heavy as fights go on. So I worry about that. I worry about a crazy first round, kind of like the Marc-Andre Barriault and who'd he fight last? Julian Marquez fight was. Just a wild, crazy pace, and then Anders kind of gassing out after that, and Marc-Andre Barriault cruising to a decision or something like that. I kind of see something like that happening, and I'm more confident as the week's gone on. And I actually have an early bet out on Marc-Andre Barriault because I think this line's going to grow more in favor of him. So I tried to grab it while I could at minus 130 on BetOpenly.
Yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from. Could be a late finish or a decision by Barriault. I think the activity on the feet is definitely going to be there for Barriault.
Yeah.
Probably for all 3 rounds. But maybe the more significant shots could be there for Anders. But I do struggle with looking at the loss to Jung Young Park, which is a split decision loss. That was just about a year ago. And he just kept going for takedowns. Like, he was just trying to spam takedowns. He went 3 for 24 on takedowns and just kind of trying to hold him there because Jung Young Park was coming with the volume. And he was just like hands over his head, like diving for legs.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is not a good look. And I think Barriault could put a similar type of game plan together to beat him. So, yeah, if he can survive round 1, it might be a good live betting opportunity.
Right. Yeah.
I remember last time against Marquez, I took the live bet on Barriault. It was like plus 170 after round 1, and he just took over after round 1, which was quite the play there. I was happy about that, but probably a good live betting opportunity considering the styles of both guys. For the sake of the show, I'll go with Barriault as well.